The knife never comes from the front. If it did, you would see the hand. You would stop the strike. You would defend yourself. The front is where enemies stand. The front is where battles take place. But you were not in a battle. You were sitting at dinner. You were smiling. You were sharing your dreams, your fears, and your weak points with someone you called a friend, someone you called a partner. And that is why you are bleeding now. The betrayal that breaks you never comes from a stranger. A stranger cannot truly damage you because a stranger has no access to your back. The betrayal always comes from the person you gave the key to, and when you look back, you feel foolish. You feel blind. You replay the memories, and suddenly the red flags you painted white start showing their true color. You notice the looks. You hear the silence between words. You understand that the signs were there the whole time, shouting at you in a language you refuse to understand. You want to believe that people are good. You want to believe that loyalty is the natural setting of the human soul. Machiavelli would laugh at that belief. 500 years ago, in the harsh courts of Florence, Niccolò Machiavelli wrote the manual that explains human nature. He did not write about how things should be. He wrote about how things really are. And his conclusion was cold and direct. Men are ungrateful, unstable, dishonest, fearful, and greedy. If you move through life assuming that people are loyal until proven otherwise, you are walking through a field of mines, with your eyes shut, asking to be destroyed. But if you learn to see clearly, if you learn to decode the quiet, dark patterns of the human shadow, you become something different. You stop being the victim of betrayal and start becoming the master of human behavior. You can see the traitor before they pull out the blade. There are 3 clear behaviors, 3 signals that expose a person who is not capable of loyalty. These signs are not obvious. They are not the person who lies openly to your face. They are the person who smiles too much, the person who agrees too fast, the person who hides deception behind honesty. We are going to break them down carefully. We are going to tear the mask away. By the end of this, you will look at your circle and you will see the cracks in the structure, and you will finally give yourself permission to do what you have been too afraid to do. Cut the rope. Before we identify the 3 types of traitors, you must understand why you keep allowing them in. There is a flaw in your mental system. It is called the projection of virtue. You are a decent human being. You respect your word. If you say you will help, you help. Because you operate in this way, you project this value system onto others. You assume that because you would never betray them, they will never betray you. This is a deadly mistake in strategy. Machiavelli warns that a man who tries to practice goodness in everything will suffer among so many who are not good. You are projecting your own reflection onto a wolf. The wolf does not care about your reflection. The wolf only cares about hunger. Most people think trust is a feeling. I feel like I can trust him. That is wrong. Trust is not a feeling. Trust is a calculation. The moment you rely on vibes or chemistry, you become prey. The greatest con artists in history, from Casanova to Bernie Madoff, were experts at vibes. They made you feel important. They made you feel understood. They used your need for connection as a Trojan horse to enter your walls. You must stop trusting feelings alone and start trusting patterns. Patterns do not lie. Words can lie. Emotions can lie. But behavior, repeated behavior, is the only real truth. We are going to look at 3 specific behavioral patterns that reveal a hidden enemy. These are people who are already in your life, pretending to be allies. The first sign is weaponized vulnerability, the early confessor. This is the most confusing sign, and that is why it traps even intelligent people. We are taught that vulnerability means closeness. We are told that if someone shares their pain, their secrets, or their trauma with us, it means they trust us deeply. So you meet someone new, a new friend, a new co-worker, maybe a romantic interest, and within a few hours, or maybe within the first week, they drop something heavy on you. They tell you about their abusive childhood. They tell you about their insane ex who destroyed their finances. They tell you a dark secret they claim they have never or told anyone else. Your ego grows. You think, wow, they must see something special in me. We have a deep bond. But you are not special in that moment. You are a target. This is not intimacy. This is premature confession. And in the world of manipulation, this is a transaction. Machiavelli understood that men are driven by love or fear, but there is another driver, debt. When someone gives you a secret, they create a quiet debt inside you. They have given you a piece of themselves. Now the social rule of reciprocity pushes you to give them a piece of yourself back. So what happens? You lower your guard. You share your secrets. You talk about your insecurities. You mention problems in your marriage or money you have hidden from the tax authorities. You believe you are bonding. In truth, you are handing over ammunition. The early confessor often has weak boundaries. A person without boundaries cannot have real loyalty. If they are ready to betray their own privacy to a stranger, to you, they will betray your privacy to the next stranger they meet. Think carefully. Why would they trust you so quickly? They do not know your character. They do not know if you are trustworthy. They do it because it is a tactic. It is a way to speed up trust. They want to skip the time it takes to build real loyalty by hacking your empathy. They are searching for a savior or searching for leverage. Real trust moves slowly. Real trust is earned through time and shared experience. The Romans understood this. The Spartans understood this. You did not enter the inner circle by telling a sad story. You entered by bleeding together on the same battlefield for years. Be careful of the person who tries to fast forward a relationship. If someone tells you their darkest trauma on the first date, walk away. They are not looking for love. They are looking for a hostage. They are looking for someone to carry their emotional weight. And the moment you try to create a boundary, the moment you step back, they will use that vulnerability against you. They will say, I opened up to you. I trusted you. How can you be so cold? Now you are trapped by guilt. You stay because you feel responsible. And that guilt becomes the cage they built for you in the first hour. Machiavelli would advise you to accept the information but give nothing back too quickly. Listen, observe, but keep your cards hidden. A secret shared too soon is not a gift. It is a hook. Do not bite. The second sign is the Switzerland syndrome, the extreme neutral. I do not want to get involved. I am staying out of it. I see both sides. These phrases sound wise. They sound calm. They sound like the words of someone mature. But many times, they are the words of a traitor. In The Prince, Machiavelli explains that neutrality in conflict is often deadly. When two powers fight, the neutral one is hated by the loser and disrespected by the winner. Neutrality is rarely moral. It is usually a safety strategy. When someone stays neutral while you are being disrespected, they are not being objective. They are protecting themselves. Imagine someone wrongs you. Someone steals from you, lies about you, or humiliates you in public. Your friend sees it clearly. They know you are right. They know the other person is toxic. But when you ask for support, they say, I am friends with both of you. I do not want to choose sides. Understand this deeply. Silence is also a decision. By refusing to call out the disrespect, they quietly support it. The extreme neutral values access over principles. They want to be liked by everyone. They want to keep every door open. A person who tries to please everyone stands for nothing. If they will not defend you when you are right, they will not defend you when you are weak. This kind of person is dangerous because they are invisible enemies. They do not attack you directly. They simply step aside and allow harm to reach you. Then they arrive later with sympathy and soft words. They congratulate you when you succeed and disappear when you fail. Machiavelli respected an open enemy more than a neutral friend. An enemy shows his position. You know where he stands. The neutral friend stands on unstable ground. You build your house on them, and when the storm comes, the ground turns to mud. Look carefully at your circle. Who always plays devil's advocate when someone hurts you? Who says maybe he did not mean it like that when he clearly meant exactly that? They are not offering balance. They are avoiding the cost of loyalty. Loyalty is uncomfortable. Loyalty requires sacrifice. Loyalty sometimes creates enemies. If your friend is afraid to make enemies for you when you are right, they are not your friend. They are just a spectator. And spectators change sides quickly. Dante Alighieri, another Florentine like Machiavelli, said the hottest places in hell are reserved for those who stay neutral in times of moral crisis. Why? Because the violent man at least believes in something. The neutral man believes only in self-protection. Do not trust someone who is friendly with your enemies. It does not work logically. If they sit at the table with someone trying to poison you, they are helping pass the cup. Release them. Let them stay neutral far away from you. You need allies who are willing to bleed, not watchers eating popcorn while you fight for survival. The third sign is the performer of virtue, the moral grandstander. I hate drama. I am an empath. I never lie. I am just too nice. The loudest claims in a room are often the biggest lies. In psychology, this is called reaction formation. It is when a person shows the opposite of what they truly are because they are afraid of their own nature. The person who keeps saying they hate drama is usually the source of it. The person who keeps repeating how honest they are is often preparing to deceive you. Machiavelli wrote in detail about the appearance of virtue. He advised rulers that it is not necessary to truly have every virtue, but it is necessary to appear to have them. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Very few experience who you truly are. The modern manipulator understands this deeply. They know that to hide traits like narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy, they must wear the mask of a saint. They do not just act good. They perform goodness. They post about justice every hour. They speak loudly about their charity work. They judge others for moral mistakes. They present themselves as the parent of the group, the protector, the moral compass. This is camouflage. A truly good person does not need to advertise goodness. Real integrity is quiet. It shows itself in actions, not in announcements. When someone constantly broadcasts their morality, they are selling you an image. And the louder they sell it, the more you should question what they are hiding behind the performance.